Go ahead and proceed the recording so I don't get in trouble. Yeah, I don't know what the light bulb would be converted to. That may be like dealer's choice, where the engineers get to decide what they want to hide behind it next. So keep an eye on it for cool new bells and whistles. We'll be doing a webinar with Gradient on 4/26. That is ready to go. There's a login page for that, or sign up page for that. So if you want to see me and Dave Goldie from Gradient hang out and create some ruckus, I can't promise that there will be anything really educational, considering who is showing up for that, but Goldie and I should be entertaining at the very least. And then we're doing a webinar with Ruffian Software. If you haven't seen Ruffian, they do a pretty cool privileged access management solution. They have some pretty good talking points, pretty good conversations around privileged access management in the MSP. If you're struggling with having some of your engineers share passwords to manage client accounts, they're a pretty cool tool to do it. Yeah, agent overload. You're right, Jason. I don't blame you there one bit. There are a lot of solutions for this kind of stuff, and I agree with you. We gotta decide which agents are worth it to deploy, and we got to deploy those sparingly. But they did just release some cool Azure AD stuff, and that looks pretty slick. So I'm excited to see what else they've got going, what the new bells and whistles and features look like. So we'll check them out on the 5th. Robin Robbins is literally wrapping up as we speak. Marnie and the team have been out there all week. If you guys follow them on social media, I'm sure you saw some of that. And then the next trip out really looks like May 9th to 12th for Evolve in Dallas. Anybody going to Evolve in Dallas? I thought I'd put the Gradient link in chat, but typical to me, I put that in chat to everyone in the waiting room that I've already emptied. So there you go. So Evolve Dallas 9th through 12th. I think Marnie and Nick will be at that one. Pretty good, pretty entertaining. And then 7-Figure MSP the following week. I will be there the 17th through the 19th in Dallas. So it looks like Dallas is the cool place to be in May. I have no idea why all the vendors want to go there in May, but at least we're not going to Dallas in July. I guess we'll go with that. Anybody else got anything cool that you signed up to go attend? What are the big events coming? We're still waiting for info on DattoCon here in DC. What else are we doing? Nothing. Ingram Cloud Summit. Okay. Where's Ingram Cloud Summit? Is that Chicago?
Oof. I'm gonna hang out with Kelvin.
Nice. Is that where is he gonna be?
Get our mandate.
Is he gonna be at
He's speaking?
Oh, no kidding. Now I feel like
I would not have gone if he wasn't gonna go. Once I found out he was going, I have to go to a Ingram event a year anyways. It's part of SMB Alliance, so I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm going to Cloud Summit.
That's gonna be the one. No,
I hope I'm allowed to swear on your webinar.
Whatever. I would totally go. At least it's you, not me this time. I would totally go there just to hang out with Kelvin. If you guys don't know Kelvin is the mad scientist genius behind cyberdrain.com. So he's a great human being and one of the smartest guys in the space. And again, great human being who just gives back a ton of content to us. So pretty wonderful. I'm going to apologize now and getting messages popping up that tell me my internet is inconsistent. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Next things up, starting the first week of May, we're going to be running another VCIO process boot camp. If you've been to our boot camp in the past, this is the same content. This is not for you. If you're a new subscriber, or if you haven't made it to a boot camp in the past, this one is going to be Mondays. We try and switch up the day to find times that are easiest for everybody. This will be Mondays for 4 weeks. We basically go over how to build your VCIO process. So if you're new and struggling, this is one of those things that really helps you get off on the right foot. It's one of the only things that we charge for, and we really only charge for it to make you show up. It is a $600 boot camp. So sign up before the end of next week, and we'll get a workbook mailed to you. We'll get all the content set up for you, and you will get access to a private Facebook group and recordings of all the content. So pretty good stuff, pretty solid. It'll get you off and running. And with that, we're going to jump into this week's Q&A, which is bells and whistles and features and things in the platform that you may not know how to use. So thanks to Greg and his team for putting together a list of Q&As that they had questions about. I want to go through a couple of these, and then we'll open it up and let you guys ask about anything else that you've got questions about. But we're going to dig into a couple of functions that folks perform in Lifecycle Insights all the time, and kind of talk about the best ways to achieve those. So one of the first things that we talk about a lot is asset lifecycle replacement, right? We talk about how to replace all of your workstations, how to make sure that they get accounted for, et cetera. But every now and again, you get a situation where you've just got a bunch of machines that were all purchased around the same time, and your customer winds up with this this overwhelming, like, hey, I got to replace a whole bunch of stuff all at once, and it's really more than I can afford to do. So this customer got backed into a corner. They bought a bunch of machines, maybe when Windows 7 died. Now they've got 14 machines that are all going to go end of life at the same time, and we want to keep them from having to write another $18,000 check or whatever that's going to come out to. So we want to space this out for them when we build them their recommendation. So I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to move them over to a recommendation, and then we're going to talk about how we could work on this recommendation to keep them from having to replace them all at once. So this is a mass workstation replacement, just because that's a name I don't think I've used before. And if we recall, those machines all go end of life 2024, the beginning of 2024. So what we're going to talk about is how to use the tool to plan for that. So we'll go kick into 2024, and we need to start replacing those machines. We need to start replacing those machines in March of 2024. Come on. Ugh. That thing's a pain in the neck.
That feeling when your date picker app is not agreeing with you.
Yeah, it's not. It's angry. So we're just going to cheat. And then I'm going to go yell at support for making me look like a knucklehead. All right. So then what I want to do is pick a long period in which we're going to replace these. So I'm going to give these guys 6 or 7 months. I don't remember how many I picked now. So let's just go to here. And this is going to give me a 7-month time frame into which we can replace these machines. Notice by default, we load all the machine costs. We have 14 assets. We're going to load them all into the first month. I used this at my MSP a couple different ways. Sometimes I'd charge upfront for product and at the end for labor. So if I was doing a project that had a bunch of labor in it, I may go ahead and have the customer pay that labor at the end. In this particular use case, though, I'm going to spread out this big spend over a period of 7 months. So I'm going to leave 2 machines in March, and then I can just come down here, and using this selector, I can move 2 of them into April, and 2 of them into May, and 2 of them into June, and 2 of them into July, etc. And when I get all said and done, what I'm going to wind up with is a project that lets my customer pay for it over time and spreads out this expense. So now if you look, we've spread this money out over a period of 7 months. It just magically worked out that I had enough to have the exact right number to spread them out like that. But you could do any number of combinations of giving them a month or 2 in between where they don't have to pay for anything, spreading this all out that way. A lot of folks don't realize that if you change the date to a multiple month cycle, you'll actually get these multiple rows that you can set up. And then you can also, if they had to buy extra materials, let's say they were buying an extra monitor for each of these, you could put some extra materials in there, or you could have them pay a big chunk of labor at the end if you wanted to. Whatever you want to do, you can build all of that into there. And everything that you've done on here will be reflected on the budget. So we've got this project named Mass Workstation Replacement. When I do save recommendation, you can see it's updated it with all of this info. And I'm going to be able to go over to my budget forecast, and I'm going to be able to look at 2024. So let's look at the 5-year budget. And down here in 2024, we'll have this this big recommendation with all of those pieces of equipment to replace. So that is pretty much how that works. We take all of the dollar value for these, and if you dug into a monthly, if you get close enough to 2024 to see a monthly, you'll see that this spend is all broken out. Any questions about how to use that functionality in the recommendation so that you can spread out the spend? Because I think a lot of folks don't know that exists. All right. So one additional thing that goes along with this, we want to talk through just a couple of these. We've talked through the month column here. The replace column is another one that gets interesting. This is a function that was added because we had some folks come to us and say, well, my client has some equipment that they're not going to get rid of it today, but if they got to the point where they needed to replace it, they probably would just do without it. This might be a shared computer in a break room. It might be a spare that's in a closet somewhere or something like that. And a lot of this equipment, literally, your customer can do without. Everyone's camera has froze on me. Can you guys hear me okay? Hello? Can anybody hear me? No.